Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christy with Ahn Co. It's Friday, October 25th. I'm going to go over the markets for the day and week with you. Got quite a bit of selling pressure to show up in soybeans here right before the close, closing down 13 cents on the day. On the week, that puts them down 13 3/4. So very quiet trade for the most part. Just seemed like people wanted to lose a little bit of steam here. You have some details coming out that China's willing to buy $20 billion worth of goods this first year and then get it up to $40 billion moving forward. And really, if that is the case, they bought a peak of $29 billion worth of U.S. agriculture goods in 2013. And so the market's kind of saying, hey, you know, we're getting the short end of the stick here, but really you just have to let this thing decipher itself out. But it was enough to kind of say, let's step away from this market. You're also starting to see farmers selling here. Basis levels really starting to widen out. You could be seeing that on the futures board as well. And so really with the lack of news, it just seemed like the path of least resistance this entire week for most of the grains was to the lower side. Surprisingly enough, corn able to stay positive on the day for the most part. With that last little bit of push here to the downside in soybeans, it did bring corn to close steady on the day, but an impressive close when you had soybeans down 13. On the week, corn market down 4 1/4. Wheat complex, Chicago wheat and Kansas City wheat both positive today, but on the week still some pressure across the board. So Chicago wheat down 14.5 cents on the week. You've had a big run in Chicago wheat, so it's not surprising you're seeing that pullback. Kansas City wheat down 11 cents, Minneapolis wheat down 7.5 cents on the week. So pressure really across the board when you look at those grain markets. Meat markets, opposite situation for cattle. Live cattle today up $1.35. That puts it up $1.50 on the week, and feeder cattle up anywhere from 47.5 to just over $1 higher today, putting it $2.20 higher on the week. So both cattle markets were able to post a impressive week, but not so much for when you look at lean hogs. So lean hogs up 37.5 cents today, but down $3 on the week when you look at that chart. A lot of that has to do with export sales being poor and just the fact that we're trying to decipher, do we build a premium into soybeans and hogs right now with the hopes that China will buy, or do you want this market to wait until we actually get confirmation so you see that profit taking when you look at the hog markets? Outside markets, the really only notable one is that crude oil was up almost $3 on the week, getting a push there. Otherwise, for the most part, news was extremely limited, so we'll wait to see if we get any sort of trade talk news after the close here. There's supposed to be higher level meetings, so hopefully you can drum up something to have some sort of information and hard data to travel on. Otherwise, we'll probably see a lot of hard progress, harvest progress moving forward this weekend with some sun and some wind, drying down in a lot of areas, not so much the Dakotas, but the rest of the areas should see some progress, and hopefully we start to hear some more yield reports. I do have to close with the disclaimer: trading futures and options involves risk loss and is not suitable for all producers. This is a solicitation. Have a great weekend.